We're going to start on page 145. Okay, so 145, we'll do grammar first. Okay. 145, here we are. Talking about sentence openers, this is review, so you already know all this. This is just practice. So it says a sentence opener is a descriptive word or phrase or clause that is added to the beginning of a sentence. Use different types of sentence openers. Using different types of sentence openers makes writing more interesting. That's why we use them, okay? You guys, when you were little, you used to start your sentence kind of the same all the time. And this helps your writing sound better and it makes it more interesting to read. Add prepositional phrase openers and ly adverb openers, you know about those two. To make this paragraph more interesting to read, use your own words or words in the margin. So I just want to read it through without the openers so you know what it sounds like. And then we're going to add openers and then we're going to read it again. Okay, so I'll read it this time. The vegetables and fruit fill the garden. Bunnies visit the lettuce and cabbage heads. Chipmunks nibble on the corn, peas, and beans. A goose has laid 7 eggs. They will soon hatch, and the garden will be filled with baby birds. Is a scarecrow. He stands 6 feet in the air. Straw sticks out of his arms and legs. Birds nap on his shoulders and sit on his head. Mice like Johnny and Timmy scamper up his pant legs. The garden is a delightful place. So that's how it sounds without the openers. And now we're going to take turns choosing different openers to put in the sentences. And if you look here on the side, you have some choices. For ly adverbs, we have certainly, generally, occasionally, proudly, surprisingly, usually. There's more though, if you want to look back on your list in your book on the page that we tabbed or the pink list from your binder. If you want to look at another list, you can. You don't have to use one of these, but you can. They're here. And then the prepositions, these are some suggestions. Beside, by, in, near, and with. So we're going to take turns filling in these blanks. And if you want to go back to the page that's marked prepositions, if you want to see a bigger list, if you want to choose something different, okay? So we'll just take turns. The first one's going to be a prepositional opener. So I'll start with Lizzie. So pick a preposition either from here, an opener from here, or a different one. So what could you put to start this sentence? Like, in the spring, the vegetables and fruit fill the garden, or you could name a month of the year, like by the middle of June, the vegetables and fruit fill the garden. You see what I'm doing, Lizbeth? So you can look at these choices and try to add words here to make this opener.
In spring.
In the spring. Okay, I like that. Mateo, did you have an idea?
Yeah, I liked in the spring.
Okay. Let me see if I can make this easier to see here. Okay. So let's add that in the spring. In the spring, the vegetables and fruit fill the garden. And then the next one, Mateo, you can do the next one. Bunnies visit the lettuce and cabbage heads. And then it says blank chipmunks. So this is where you're going to want an ly. Which ly would work there? Somethingly chipmunks nibble on the corn, peas, and beans.
Occasionally.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. Occasionally, chipmunks nibble. And then the next one is going to be another prepositional phrase. So this is for you, Malia. Blank, a goose has laid 7 eggs. So think of one of these like near the tomatoes. A goose has laid 7 eggs or something like that. or beside something. Like where is she laying her eggs, would you say?
Beside the bush.
Beside the bush?
Yeah.
That would work. Mateo, you have another one?
I was thinking like near the pond.
That's a good one too. So you guys can put your own. I'll write Malia's, but you guys can write your own. Beside the bush, a goose has laid 7 eggs. It's a good one. Okay, and then Mateo, oh, it finishes up there. Yours is going to be down here. You have two, or this first spot. This is a prepositional opener, is a scarecrow. So tell where the scarecrow is. And you can use one of those prepositional openers.
Um, in a field.
Okay. In a field, that would work. How about any other ideas on that one? In a field is a scarecrow. Okay, you can use that one. And then this is for Lizzie. Blank, he stands 6 feet tall in the air. This is going to be an ly adverb. Somethingly, he stands 6 feet tall in the air.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly, I like that.
Can I put proudly or is
Yes,
that
you can. Yep, that would work too. Proudly, he stands 6 feet tall. Yep. Good, Mateo. All right, and then it says straw sticks out of his arms and legs, and then we have this is for Malia. Blank birds nap on his shoulders and sit on his head. So use a preposition here. Maybe like when that might happen, like what time of day might it happen? Like in the morning, birds nap on his shoulders, or
Mm.
by noon or by evening. I don't know.
What do can I do in the evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that I like it. And if you guys have something different, that's okay. Put what you want. In the evening, birds nap on his shoulders and sit on his head. And then we have an ly, Mateo. Somethingly mice like Johnny and Timmy scamper up his pant leg.
generally or no?
Generally, maybe. There might be a better one.
Usually?
Yeah, usually. I think that one would work. Usually mice like Johnny and Timmy scamper up his pant legs. Yep. And then blank the garden is a delightful place. That's for Lizzie. That's another ly. And you can use one from here or a different one. Somethingly, the garden is a delightful place.
Certainly.
I like that one too, certainly. Now you guys might have different things here, but I'm going to read mine now. Malia, did you want to say something?
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Oh yeah, no problem. Yep. So I'll just read it the way I have it written here. And think about how I read it the first time through and see if this sounds better. In the spring, the vegetables and fruit fill the garden. Bunnies visit the lettuce and cabbage heads. Occasionally, chipmunks nibble on the corn, peas, and beans. Beside the bush, a goose has laid 7 eggs. They will soon hatch and the garden will be filled with baby birds. In a field is a scarecrow. Surprisingly, he stands 6 feet in the air. Straw sticks out of his arms and legs. In the evening, birds nap on his shoulders and sit on his head. Usually, mice like Johnny and Timmy scamper up his pant legs. Certainly, the garden is a delightful place. See how it totally changed that? And now it's like really fun to listen to and read, and it gives more of an image of what the garden is like. So that's why we use these, okay? That's just why they wanted you to practice that. All right, let's go to 147. And how about Mateo? Go ahead and read this sentence today.
Johnny replied that they had problems, which prompted his visit to the country.
Okay, good. Nice job reading. Prompted is like to move into action or to signal that you need to do something. And that's why he's prompted to visit the country because he had some problems. They had some problems. So prompted. That is a verb actually. So it has that ed there. All right, there's one article. Go ahead and find that. And then Lizzie, where are the nouns?
Johnny,
Yes.
problems,
Good.
visit,
Not yeah, it is visit. Sometimes visit can be a verb, but you're right, it is a noun here.
and country.
And country. Nice job. So it's because it says his visit. If it said I'm going I will visit my grandma this weekend, that would be a verb. But you're right, this is his visit, so it's a noun. Nice job. Okay, pronoun, Mateo.
Is his visit.
It's actually an adjective. His is going to function as an adjective here because it's telling whose visit it is. So not his,
Is it they?
it's they. Good job. Yep. So I kind of gave away the adjective. So let's go ahead and mark adjective on top of his. That's because it's telling whose visit it is. And then let's jump down to the who, which clause. Malia, where's the who, which clause?
Which prompted his visit to the country.
Yes, good job. Which prompted. Good. How about the that clause, Lizzie?
That they had problems.
Good. Label it with that. And then how about subject verb pairs? How about you do both, Mateo? Where are the subjects and the verbs?
Sub Johnny replied,
Good. Johnny replied.
which prompted.
Which and prompted. Yep, good. And there's one more inside the that clause.
Yeah, is it like they
Yes.
thing? Is it they had?
Yes. Good job, Mateo. They had. That's right. Nice job. I like how you did that. And the prepositional phrase, Malia, where's that one?
Um, is it
Yes. So what's the whole phrase?
to the country?
You got it. Nice job. And the opener, Lizzie?
Subject,
Yes. Number one, subject. Nice. Yay. And then one capital, that's easy, Johnny. One period at the end. Man, you guys are getting really quick at these. And did you notice we're getting close to the end of the book? Yay.
I noticed that a lot of it is review it. Like we
Yeah.
don't have to learn anything anymore.
Yeah, you pretty much learned all the stuff for the year, and now we're just reviewing. That's right. Very observant. Okay. So we're done with grammar for today, and your homework will be the next 3 pages in that. Last week, we talked about the state test, and we're going to talk about it again today. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about it forever. We're just going to talk about it from now until we just have this week and next week. And then once we hit spring break, we're going to have some time off, and then we're going to get back into the binder. Okay, so that's the plan. So today I want to go over a few more things with you about the test. So I'm going to try this with you. I want you to, let me set this up first. I'm going to have you click on a link in the chat, and I'm going to have you practice getting around on the actual test. Okay, so when you click this link, it should open up a new tab for you. You might see that Zoom might go away for a minute, but you'll still be able to hear me talking to you. So And there's a way to see both Zoom and your test at the same time. But if you don't know how to do that, that's okay. Just listen to me. I'm going to walk you through what you need to click when you go to this practice test. This is just practice. This is not the real test. But the coolest thing about it is it looks like the real test. And that way you guys can get familiar with different buttons and what we're going to use on the test. Now, the test I'm referring to is called the CASP. It's CAAS, no, CAASPP, and it all stands for California Student Performance and Progress, something like that. So this is for all students in California. So you're not alone, and it's all students are going to look at the same test you guys are going to look at. I don't know what kind of questions you're going to get. This is just practice, so it's going to be something similar to this, okay? So I put it in the chat. Go ahead and click on that link and tell me if you see. I'll share my screen too, and maybe you can see both. If not, you can just listen to me and I'll walk you through it. So you should see a page that has a green border and some blue buttons on it, and it says, please sign in. So give me a thumbs up if you see that page on your computer. Okay, good. How about you, Malia? Okay, good. Can you see me and the Zoom at the same time? Okay, good. Yes? How about you, Mateo? Can you see me too? If not, oh, good. Yes. Yay, it's working. All right, cool. And you still should be able to unmute and talk and raise your hand and all that stuff. So please let me know if you have any questions along the way. I'm going to walk you through logging in as a guest, and then we're going to practice this test together. So go ahead and click continue as guest. We're not going to log in with your name and all that stuff. We're just practicing. So, and then you'll see another blue button that says continue as guest. Click that. And then you'll see a button that says guest session. Click that. And then you should see where you select a grade. Before you select a grade, give me a thumbs up if you see that screen that says select grade.
You go back, this thing isn't working. It like logged me off almost.
Oh, okay. So let me go back for Mateo. I'll go in. Oops. Okay, I went back to the beginning. Is that what you see? Oops, you're muted.
Sorry, it keeps kicking me off the website. Okay,
Oh, he disappeared. Poor guy. Just a second. Let me check something here. We'll see if he can log back in. Now, I know that some students in this class are not in fifth grade. Some students are in fifth grade, but just for the sake of today's practice, we're going to all click fifth grade today, okay? So you can select your grade and click fifth grade. I'm going to go ahead and do it too, and then I'll help Mateo when he comes back in. So click grade 5. Okay, and you should see pink and kind of brownish green bars. You guys see that on yours? Okay. The first pink bar says Smarter Balanced Practice Tests. You're going to click the first one that says that, the top pink bar. And then you should see lighter pink boxes. And there's 4 of them. The first one says Start Grade 5 ELA Practice Test. The second one says Start Grade 5 ELA Performance Task. That's the one you want to click, the second one down. When you hover over it, it makes it a darker pink. Click Grade 5 Performance Task. You guys got it? Okay. Then at the bottom of this screen, you'll see a blue button that says select. Go ahead and just click that. We're not going to change anything in those settings. You're just going to click select. And then you should see a play button, and this is where they check your sound. You're going to remember this sound because I know you guys have done it before. So go ahead and click that. Remember that sound? Do 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 do. All right, I'm going to click mine too. Let me let Mateo back in. And then you see the blue button that says I could play the sound and video. So go ahead and click that. I don't know what happened, Mateo. You were gone for a second.
My computer died, but don't worry about walking me through it because my teacher usually just always calls me the time before and then she'll just the day before she'll show me everything how to get in.
Oh, good. Okay, so you can just watch the Zoom then for now. And
Yeah.
then I'll walk the other two through it. Okay, so do you guys see this page where it says instructions and help? Go ahead and click at the bottom where it says begin test now. And then you should see a bunch of words and you see a blue box number 1. Can you guys see all that? Good. Okay. So this is what the actual test will look like. It's going to be a different topic or subject, and it's going to be different sources. But today we're going to still look at service animals. That's what you guys started your paper on, is about service animals. We're going to talk about that some more. And I want to walk you through the other parts of the test that go with that. So on the left here, you can see student directions, service animals, opinion, performance task. This is the same thing as what you have in your packet that you printed for your homework. Yeah, okay, good. I see you nodding. If I scroll, and you can scroll on yours, scroll down till you see source number 1 and you see monkey helpers. And if you keep scrolling on the side, keep scrolling, you'll see source number 2, animals helping people. You guys see that one? Scroll, keep scrolling. And then you're going to see source number 3, news service animal rules. And that's the third one. And then scroll to the bottom. So that's the bottom. That's the whole part that you'll be reading for this part of the test. So scroll back to the very top again. And just a quick reminder for this is for the writing test. So when you do the reading test and the math test and all that, it's going to be different. So this is only the writing part of the test. Remember how last week I told you the first thing you're going to do, the very, very first thing, when your teacher says, and you see this page, your teacher says, you may now begin your test. Does anybody remember what I want you to do first? It has to do with your lined paper. Malia?
I think it was like get 2 pieces of lined paper.
Yeah. And then what's the first thing you're going to write down on your lined paper? Remember?
I think it was, wait, was it our keyword outline?
You're close, Mateo. What did you remember? The first thing to
Uh,
do?
well, it was checklist and then after
Yes.
do the dress ups and then the opening.
Yes. 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 You remember? Okay. Malia's like, oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay. So, yes, when your teacher says you may begin the test, the first thing you're going to do is make a checklist for yourself and just write down the things that you can remember. Don't worry if you're forgetting something. It's okay. Just try to remember all the things that you normally underline for me in my class and make a list of that. And then the second thing you're going to do is on the second piece of paper, you're going to write out your keyword outline. And it's going to be Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3. You're going to do 3 paragraphs, okay? Um, and get that all set up. And then you start reading on the screen. So the next step would be, do you see where this blue 1 is? And if I go over to the right side, do you see how there's a 1 and a 2 over here? So there's 2 sections to this part of the test, and you can go back and forth between 2 and 1, and you can do that as many times as you want. It's okay to flip back and forth. It doesn't change anything. You don't lose anything. These are the 2 parts that you're going to focus on for this part of the test, okay? And number 1 says, click on the boxes to match each source with the idea or ideas that it supports. Some ideas may have more than one source selected. So here are the ideas on this side. The first one says, people who own businesses have to consider the well-being of all their guests. That means like people who have a store or a restaurant, they have to consider the people that come. If they have things they need, like if they're in a wheelchair and they need access to get in the door or get to the second level, they have to provide that for people. Okay, so that's what that means. And then the second idea says being smart and able to handle small objects like makes certain animals more appropriate than other animals to assist people who have a disability. Now, those are the two ideas. And then over here, you'll see the three sources that we just looked at. Source number one, monkey helpers, and that's over here. Remember, source number one, monkey helpers, that's about that. And then we looked at source number two, animals helping people. If I keep scrolling, we've got source number two and animals helping people, that's here. And then source number three is, new service animal rules. That's the third one. Okay, so what you would do is look at those sources, look for these two ideas, and click the box that you find that information in. Click the box of the source that you find that information in. Okay, so let's do that. And just a little side note here, you guys wrote 3 paragraphs, right, for homework? Okay, good. So you're good. So now what I want you to do is look at the side and I'll help you with the first one. Let me look at my notes here. This one that says people who own businesses have to consider the well-being of their guests. If you go all the way down to source number 3, this is the one that talks about the rule, the new service animal rule. And it's talking about people with disabilities and the public spaces. So this is all talking about businesses and public places where people go that have disabilities, and that the owners need to consider their guests. So I want you guys to silently, and Mateo, since you have your packet, turn to the page that has new service animal rules. It's going to be on, I think it's page 9 of your packet. Read that silently to yourself right now and see if you can find something that talks about how people who own businesses have to consider the well-being of all their guests. And when you see something like that, give me a thumbs up so I know you found it. Give me a thumbs up when you're done reading it.
Well, I found something about like the humans to protect them.
Okay, what did you find?
Um, the little paragraph after what made the change necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, that little paragraph it talks about it.
Okay. Okay, that's good. And I think that I know you girls might still be reading, but I really think that the whole thing is basically talking about public places and businesses. So you may not find anything that says that sentence exactly. People who own businesses have to consider the well-being of their guests. But even if you scroll back up to the beginning, and do you see how this big paragraph right here has tilted words? It's called italicized. That's telling us that this is the rule. And it's talking about public places and business owners. And if you think back on source one and source two, it doesn't really talk about businesses and business owners and things like that. So we can, by just thinking about how this one it talks about businesses, that's going to be the one that you're going to select. So this is source number 3. So over here on the right, you're just going to click that box. Just click it. It'll automatically check it for you. And that's how you answer that. Okay. And the next idea says being smart and able to handle small objects makes certain animals more appropriate than other animals to assist people who have a disability. Since you guys have already read these sources, what animal would help somebody open or handle small objects? What animal did they talk about, Lizzie?
Capuchin monkeys.
Yes, because they actually have little hands and they almost have like thumbs like we do. So like I have my water bottle right here, but you need to be able to grip it. And obviously a dog can't grip like that, and a horse can't grip, but a monkey can. So that one, if we go back up to monkey helpers, you're right. This one talks a lot about like putting a DVD in the DVD player and helping open things. So we know that that is in Monkey Helpers. So you can click the box here
You
and
also have
under
to get
source
the
one.
right you also have to get the right monkey though, because if you get like a gorilla, it might pop the water bottle.
That's true. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Gorillas are huge, man. That would be crazy. And then in source number 2, do you remember this one talking at all about the monkeys? So you can kind of scroll through and look at it again. I know you read it before, but does this one talk about animals like handling small objects? It kind of mentions it right here. Like the very first sentence says, a monkey who helps you drink out of a straw. But then if I scroll down a little bit, um, under that picture right there, a capuchin monkey helps with many tasks. And then right underneath, right above that, they're smart and nimble enough to help in lots of ways. They can turn the lights on and off. So that tells me it's here too. So see how that connects to this idea? It's not word for word, but it's basically talking about the same thing. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, good. So I would click this one too, because it is in source 2. This is one with the pictures here, source 2. So some ideas might be in more than one source, like this idea has it in 2 sources. This one about businesses was only in the one. But that's it. I'm done now with number 1. You don't want to click all the boxes. You want to make sure you click only the boxes that go with the source that talks about that idea. Okay, so now we'll click over here on number 2. Go ahead and do that on yours too. This is where you have the short answer. This is where you're going to give maybe 3 or 4 sentences. It's not the place for the big paragraph yet. Okay. It says, which source would most likely be the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained? Explain why this source is most likely the most helpful. Give at least 2 details from the source to support your answer. Here's the best way to do this, okay? This is pretty easy to remember. This first part of the question right here, it says, which source would most likely be the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained? Answer it with the same words. When you type it in, answer it with the same words, and I'll show you what I mean. By the way, do you guys have an idea which one of these would be the most helpful in training, understanding how a service animal is trained? What do you think, Lizzie?
Monkey helpers?
I think so too. What do you guys think, Malia, Mateo? Monkey helpers?
Yeah, I was thinking the first one. Is that one it?
Yeah, this is monkey helpers, the first one, because it does have, it talks right here about long before school starts, and it talks about learning to help and the simple things. So it has a lot more information about how they're trained. They go to a school, basically. This is source one. So this is how I would answer this. It says, which source? I would say this, oops, the source, and you can copy my sentence or you can make your own sentence on yours. The source titled Monkey Helpers. And then I'm going to finish what they just said in the question. I'm going to keep typing input. Would most likely be the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained. I know you're copying, but that's okay in a question like this. You're taking their question and you're turning it into a sentence, a statement, using the source title. So the source titled Monkey Helpers would most likely be the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained. I know we're using most twice in the sentence, and normally I wouldn't want you to do that, but you're using their words, the people who made this test, and that's how you can directly answer their question. Okay? It's the easiest way to do it. So you got your first sentence there, and then it says, explain why this source is most likely the most helpful. You're going to explain why. And it says, give at least 2, it has it in bold there, details from the source to support your answer. So basically, you need 2 more sentences, 2 more reasons or explanations why that article is the best for learning how to train an animal. So you're going to pick 2 details from there. Now, this is where you don't want to copy the sentences exactly from here, but you'll put it in your own words. Look for those keywords and just put it in your own words for those 2 sentences. And then one more thing I want to say about typing. Some people are already using all their fingers for typing, but if you're only using your pointer fingers, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It might take you a while to type. Just keep at it because it's all on the computer. This test is all on the computer, so you have to type it. All right, so I'm going to give you guys, and you can do this on your lined paper, Mateo, since you're not logged in. Um, maybe turn your, or get a fresh piece of lined paper and practice looking at your packet. And you can write down the sentence I put on the screen there, and then find 2 examples. Find two details from Monkey Helpers that explains why it's the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained. Okay, so find 2 things and write 2 sentences after that. I forgot to show the girls something really quick, and Mateo, you can watch this too, but let me show you something really cool. Um, let's say, let me go down here. So I might use something like this sentence right here. I want you guys to just find this sentence really quick. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but go down where it says long before school starts. See where it starts with born in Massachusetts Zoo. They must live with families as long as 12 years before beginning their training on how to assist a person with a disability. If you click and you drag, it'll highlight it like you do when in a Google Doc or on your Word. Do you guys have it highlighted? Then look at this button right here. Click it. You get to choose a color and you get to highlight the actual sentence. I'm going to pick yellow, but check it out. That's a tool that you have on the test. You can actually highlight. So you can use that to help you hold that. Like, let's say you read that and you're like, I think I like that one. I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to keep looking for my second detail that supports what I just said. And it'll stay there and you can go, like here, this sentence, days are spent learning how to load a DVD. I like that sentence. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to make that yellow. And that way I can come back to it when I go over here to type my sentences. Yes, Mateo?
I was wondering, couldn't you like get that, copy it, paste it on the thing, and then just redo it?
It won't let you copy and paste.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say because if you could do that, then you could just delete it and then make it your own sentence. Just delete some.
Yeah. Yeah, on a Google Doc you could, but on the test they won't you won't have that function. So you're just gonna I like the highlighting feature though because you could look at it at the same time as you're typing it and then just change some words as you're typing it because you don't want it exact. Take out the keywords and then make it your own sentence. Yeah. Okay, so let me know when you're done with your 3 sentences for this part. You might need to start your sentence with something like, it states that, because you're referring back to the article or the source. So you could start with saying, it states that, and then in your own words, put that detail.
Can I go get my charger?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you better get that. That's okay. You got it? Okay, go ahead, Lizzie.
I'm done.
Okay, good. Tell me what you got, what you wrote down.
The source titled Monkey Helpers would most likely be the most helpful in understanding how a service animal is trained. I forgot to put is trained.
Okay.
It states that capuchin monkeys go to school for 5 years before getting ready to be a service animal. It also states that educating only one capuchin monkey costs close to $40,000.
Yeah, good. I like that, Lizzie. And that's crazy, huh? That's a lot of money. But one thing that you pointed out that I forgot to tell you guys is that after you finish typing it, you should read it and to yourself, and even if you just whisper read it, that way you can catch little mistakes like that. I'm glad you figured that out. You're like, oh, I forgot to put is, and that happens. Sometimes we get started typing and we forget stuff. So make sure you read it back to yourself. How about you, Mateo? Did you finish your sentences?
Not yet.
Okay. Go ahead and just finish the sentence you're on, because there's a couple other things I want to show you guys. So just finish the sentence you're on and we'll move on.
I can just do it afterwards.
Okay, that's fine too. And by the way, I put this link to the practice test on Google Classroom on the stream. So that way you can log in your own grade, whatever grade level you're in, and see what the practice looks like for that grade level. And you can even log into the math and check out that. And I recommend you have maybe a parent sit with you and help you understand how to navigate around stuff, or your homeschool teacher. Um, so you can log in and log out of the practice test as many times as you want. Okay. So you'll see this bar up here. It says 67%. That means, I know it's 6-7, but aside from that, 67% completed. So that means you're more than halfway through the test just by doing numbers 1 and 2. Piece of cake, right? So do you see the button up here that says next? On the upper left, go ahead and click next. And you'll also notice whatever you highlighted stays highlighted. It's so cool. So even when you're reading it the first time through, I recommend using that highlighting feature, because you might go, oh, that's cool. I want to put that in my paper. Or, oh, I want to see if that matches that idea with the boxes. You can highlight throughout. And like I said, you can change the color of your highlights and it'll stay highlighted the entire time. So you don't lose anything. And now you're on to number 3. Yes, Lizzie?
So, for number 3, it's for writing the paragraph. But
Yes. So go ahead.
my question is that, do we write the same paragraph we did for homework?
So you don't have to. I'm just showing you where it's at. But on the day of the actual test, this is where you would type your paragraphs. But for the homework, no, you're going to do it still on Google Docs. Because this practice test, you can save it, but it doesn't save for very long and it's just for practice. So you don't have to actually type in here. We're just looking at it. But this is the last thing you have to do for writing. So already, I mean, the first part only took maybe 15, 20 minutes. It didn't take that long. It might take longer on the day of the test because you're going to take your time reading everything. Read everything, okay? And then you get to number 3. This is where you're going to spend most of your time. And like I said last week, the test itself is not timed. So you can take as long as you need to. And when you get to the end of your Zoom call with your HST, and you're not done yet, that's okay. You can schedule another Zoom call and then it'll save everything for you. And then you can start where you left off. So on the day of the actual test, when you take the actual test, it'll save forever. So you don't have to worry about losing your stuff. Okay. It'll save and they'll walk you through how to save it. You guys have any questions about that? Okay. So this is part 2. And this is where you want to read all of this really carefully. We're not going to read it all today because it'll take too long. But the most important part right here is your assignment under part 2. And I don't know if you have that part printed. Mateo, you might not have part two printed, so you could just look at this, but it says, and you can look at it online if you need to, but it says when your class returns from the library, your classmates begin to share what they learned about the different types of service animals. They also begin to discuss the new rule that allows only dogs and miniature horses as service animals in public places. Some students agree with the rule, and some students disagree with the rule. Your teacher asks you to write a paper explaining your opinion about the new rule. And we wrote this, or maybe we haven't written it yet on your paper, but this is an opinion paper. And I know you guys already wrote your paragraphs. I forgot to tell you about this. So it's a good thing, Mateo, you haven't done it yet because now you know. But I'm just gonna, you guys keep your test up. I'm gonna turn mine to my paper that I'm working on here with you. Get out your keyword outline that we started last week. Hopefully you still have it. For Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3. So we forgot to make sure to add a sentence that talks about whether or not you agree or disagree with the new rule that only dogs and miniature horses should be service animals. So that's important on an opinion paper to make a sentence with that. And I chose this sentence, and you can use the space at the top of your paper here. I chose I agree with the new rule, but maybe you don't. Maybe you like the idea of having a monkey as a service animal. Maybe you like that idea. So you could say, I disagree with the new rule that only dogs and miniature horses should be service animals. So it's not right or wrong if you agree or disagree. You're just choosing your opinion. So let me ask you guys, what do you think, Lizzie? Do you agree with the new rule or do you disagree with the new rule?
I disagree.
Okay, so on yours at the top of your paper is say, I disagree with the new rule. And how about you, Malia? Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay, then you would do the same. I disagree with the new rule. How about you, Mateo?
I agree.
You agree. There you go. I love it. So now you can just put I agree with the new rule. So go ahead and I'll give you a minute to write that sentence down at the top of your paper.
Question.
Yes.
So I just put what you put last week. So am I finishing some? Am I fixing something? Because I just put what you put last week on the top of the paper.
Is it different than what this says?
Yes, it says opinions, colon, I agree with it said I disagree with the new rule that only dogs and miniature horses are allowed to be.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm so sorry. It's this one. Okay. Sorry,
That one.
guys. You already have it. I forgot. Thank you, Mateo. I have too many classes I'm keeping track of. Opinion. Yes, you're right. So, you guys should already have it. I forgot I already talked to you about it. So yours would say I agree instead of disagree. Is that what you have, Mateo? On yours, instead of disagree on yours, do you have agree?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
agree.
Okay, good. And did you guys remember to put that sentence in your paragraphs? Did you remember to include that sentence in your paragraphs for homework?
I haven't been able to write the
Oh,
paragraph.
yeah, you're still working on yours. That's okay. So make sure to include that. And you're going to include it in two places, like the first paragraph and the last paragraph. Okay. So you might have to go back and fix that, Malia and Elizabeth, if you've already done it. But go ahead and put in parentheses in first and last. And I'm just going to do the paragraph symbols so I don't have to write it out. So you're just going to put in parentheses in first and last paragraph. So you want to make sure that that's super clear. That's a big part of what they're looking for when they're grading your essay is if you gave your opinion. And then these details, especially for you, Mateo, since you haven't finished this yet, as you're going through looking for details and facts to put here under each of these, keep that in mind that you agree with the new rule and find facts that support that, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. You also will notice that some people don't agree with your opinion of that. And you might, it would be wise to put that somewhere in your sentence too, or in your paragraphs. Let's make a note of that at the bottom here. Skip a line and let's put something like, some people uh, think differently about which animals should be allowed. And that's where you can share the opposite opinion. And this sentence would be good to include in your last paragraph somewhere. So if you already wrote, I think Lizzie, you're the one that turned it in already. So you can go back when I return it to you and add this sentence somewhere in there in your third paragraph. So basically, since your assignment last week was the 3 paragraphs, I want you to just fix those paragraphs for this week. There's nothing really new other than to make sure to add this sentence somewhere and make sure to include this sentence in your first and last paragraphs. Okay, so I'm not going to assign anything brand new for this class. Also, make sure you read my notes when I give you feedback on the Google Classroom. If there's anything you need to fix, you can fix it for this week's homework. You guys have any questions about homework? Okay, so you're just gonna
So the only thing new is do the grammar, right?
mainly the grammar, but you're catching up since you had your test or you were busy last week. So I know you're catching up from last week. So make sure you turn in. I want everybody to turn in the same 3 paragraphs after you fix it. Turn it in again for this week, but there's nothing new assigned. Does that make sense, Mateo? You good? Okay. Any other questions? All right, you guys, good job today. I'll see you next week. Bye.